Hey guys, welcome back, and let's see what AM left for us in this PM session. Alright, let me take off my face here and let's go. Alright, so as you can see guys, we've been pretty much gone sideways this whole AM session into PM session. I've marked out this fair value gap here. As you can see, we've created some equal lows right on top of it. So if I had to say, this is most probably, price is still not obviously gauging some nice reactions. Yeah, I wouldn't short it here. It most probably will go there. But yeah, I think I'll just wait and see, look for something decent. I mean, all of these higher lows created nice liquidity. Then we get this nice sideways move. And luckily we sat out of this and we didn't try to trade every move there was. Okay, so then we've got the first fair value gap that was presented here today. And I just want to extend this out, because that's also something we could target. And as you can see, there's the first higher low right in that first fair value gap, and then right below it there's relative equal lows there. And then obviously if you go all the way lower down in the day, you'll find equal lows down here and equal highs up here. So we're pretty much in the middle of those two bigger liquidity pools. But yeah, so let's see if there is anything we can get out of this. I just want to extend this out as well, so we know there is decent liquidity waiting for us here. Alright, so let's a little bit of a squeeze here. So it looks like there's momentum there. I'm just going to take this as a scalp, and let's just leave that on there and see. It's obviously not a A+ setup. The reason I took that trade is pretty much look like we're rolling over here with equal lows, and yeah, it looks like there's momentum. We closed below those lows, so we could see some sort of a pullback and then continue lower. Right, so let's see if this play its part here, or does it want to continue moving sideways. And like I said, this is nothing spectacular here, and this is barely just a scalp to take it. I would most probably just put my stop there because of that swing that we're forming there. And then if we manage to close below this fair value gap, then there's obviously the next target is this first fair value gap. But if we want to go above this now, then so be it. I'll be out of the trade, and that will tell me we most probably want to, I don't know, if then when you target something up here. but for now not clean price action here, so let's see. Okay, so I'm out of that trade. And I'm going to leave that and see what we're going to do down here. Okay, let me pop over to what I'm going to do, guys. I'm just going to pop to the micro where there's no drawings on. I want to run you guys through the hourly, just so you guys can see what my thinking is. So this is equal lows down here, and there's these equal highs up here. So we're pretty much sideways here. I was gonna wait for some sort of a bearish move through these equal lows and then target these equal highs. But we gapped up when we opened today, and then we slowly just moved up and took some small buy side out here. Now I'm almost thinking that we'll get some sort of a retracement. We could go all the way back to this gap, this little gap, and then see if we want to break through it to go lower. But there's no news today, and most probably something here is gonna hold off for the news later this week. I think there's news tomorrow, 3 days this week or something, if I'm not mistaken. So those are the two key areas for me. So what I wanted to check here, just give me a second. Is June. So 21 is right up there. It's not that far, so I'm talking that 21,000 level here. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you guys there. Then going back to where we are now, we're also within this weekly value volume imbalance, right? We have not crossed that 50% mark yet. I was expecting some sort of a rejection here to go back here and maybe then bounce. Yeah, so we're pretty stuck here right now. So I don't know if we're going to go through it and then go high, or do we going to reject this, break lower, and take these lows out first. All we know now is we've got some nice liquidity, and right above this, see this high, see this high, see this high. It's all above this fair value gap, which is a nice magnet for liquidity. So maybe we get, just want to say, a big push up into this equal highs like that, and then the drop from there. I do not want to take a short here right now because I actually don't know what's instigating this big move here. But anyways, if this thing comes down, then we're most probably going to push lower. And the fact that this candle spiked through these highs and did not close above that tells me there's most probably some sort of a lower move expected. But no need to rush into the trade, especially if you're not sure what the hell's going on. Alright, so No need to rush into anything here. Nice sideways move here. Aggressive move to that side. Could be a manipulation, guys. Could definitely manipulate us in a direction, knowing that there's equal lows right here. So this could trick people in longs to then at some point soon break lower. Which I'm going to keep an eye on here, because this is also nice fair value gap. See what that means. We're going to invert that to go lower, and if that's the case, then we've got some decent targets down here. So let's just give it some time to breathe here. From 39, fair value gap. Alright, so let's see if this fair value gap wants to get inverted, or is that just gonna be a support level for us to go higher. I mean, the target could definitely be this 50% of this volume imbalance type of thing. Volume imbalance, 50%. I mean, you're looking at all this lower highs here in the sideways market. That's obviously all nice liquidity. But for now, we just need to see what we're going to get from this move. I'll be surprised if we don't go lower. It doesn't have to be today. I mean, we could run in there, consolidate into tomorrow, and then drop. Going to keep this as a clean chart for now, because the minute I put my face on there, we're going to miss, you know, half of the image there. So let's just do it. It's easier to see for you guys. Alright, let's give it some time to breathe. Guys, we're bouncing off another fair value gap here. Another fair value gap. And we've got this black candle. actually going to take a buy, a long trade. Oof. Where did it get me in here? Bouncing off this fair value gap. Amazing how we see this as manipulation. I thought we were going to bounce from there to go up there first. No idea what's moving pricey at this moment. But let's see. This high just above the fair value gap. There's liquidity down here. Just be careful. So I would like us to go through this high and then do its reversals if it wants. Let's see. It's 50% here. Okay, so 50% of this wick. See if it wants to hold price and maybe that fair value gap. The fact that we've bounced into this fair value gap and closed in the one above tells me we might want to go higher first before we come down here. So right, let's see if we can get that move up now. Right, let's see if that fair value gap wants to hold here. Okay, so all we need is really just to challenge that high, that's it, to take this off the table. I mean, if we get aggressive move and close much higher, then obviously we might go for that bigger liquidity, but that is something we need to monitor and just keep an eye on it. I just want to see this high gets taken so we can obviously take some money off the table here. $18.25. Is $18.25 a level or It's amazing how we spike into it, but we didn't trigger. Second time this happened today. Okay. $18.25. It's this one up here. Alright, so we've run these two liquidities in this fair value gap, which is fine. I mean, obviously we're a bit bullish at this point in time. We're inverting that now, which is IFVG, but we back into the range. We never got taken our take profit there, very close though. So this black candle obviously support that 50%. Hopefully this next candle can give us that push just to close our trade here. And I'm moving my stop to break even. So worst case scenario, I'm not losing any money. Let's see if we can get up there. Well, if this is the case, then this high could be but that 50% is obviously the target for me. Right, let's see if we can get that push up there. Look, if you really think about it, this whole purple block still is in the way of sending price higher. 50% is normally the high probability fill and then reject, or all the way up here and then reject, or maybe we just close above it and run higher. Come on. It's amazing how price could go to a point and then get stuck and screw around. But I do think the momentum is definitely up here, so I do think we'll get to our target here. Alright, let's see if we can get there. Stop is at break even here. It looks like this 50% is untapped. Obviously we spiked through both fair value gaps and closed right up here, which is great. Inverted this bigger fair value gap. And now we just want to see that push up to this volume imbalance 50% at least. And then we need to see how it reacts from there basically. not the best price action today again, but guys, it's Monday. You can't expect the best. There's no news today, there's news tomorrow. I actually need to see tomorrow's news. I think it's like PMI or something. Yeah, it's PMI tomorrow. And then only on Thursday it says unemployment claims and core price index on Friday. Okay, so macro times is 50. So this spike ran just before the macro time. Macro time was 1450 till 1510. So we're literally in that macro time zone right now. As you can see, we're not moving anywhere. Sorry, 1450 to 1510. Boom. Look, I think what this thing is doing now, it's like that bull flag type of thing. I don't trade bull flags, but there's some people who's going to look for that momentum push. And I'm just seeing this because we get lower highs here. And we've got higher lows here. So we might see us push and then up. But yeah, let's see. Taking this away here because we took equal highs out here. Remember guys, we still got liquidity down here. Don't forget about those. These equal highs, equal lows. But just give us that push up and then you can do whatever you want. See, I refuse to move my stop higher. I'll just leave it here because we didn't get back to this 50%. And we left this fair value gap and we invert this one. And now we've got a double blocker here if we want to break through it to go all the way down to stop me out at break even. But I mean, hopefully we're on site to get that move up there first. I mean, we literally took my entry, but didn't get filled there. Maybe it wants to stop me out first. I don't know. Well, let's see. Trading is all about patience and conviction and trading plan. If you don't trust your trading plan, then you'll get nervous around these things and close your trades earlier. Okay, so look at this, guys. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. Nice inversion here, close above this 50% of this wick. And then all the bodies of the sideways move holds this inverted fair value gaps 50% nicely. I mean, we spiked through it, but then close above. So that tells me that we're hopefully on site here to go up there first before we do anything else. I mean, if we close down, invert all of this now, then all of that what I just said goes to waste, but that is how it normally works. Does it work 100% of the time? No, it doesn't. Does it work most of the time? Yes, it does. So, I mean, all the bodies were holding here, the bodies are holding here. So all we need now is just that move. But I can tell you now, if you look at the AM session, yeah, I think you would have done your money on that. Alright, let's have a look here. Let me do this. Yeah, we're going to push now. There we go. And still didn't hit my profit yet. Good grief. Just take it already. Come on. That is what we're looking for. Going to push through it now. There we go. Alright, so that's good. And let's see, where did we close? Did we close right at that high, or right up just slightly above? So we might see us go to that 50%. Yeah, looking at this price action, does definitely look like it wants to go push a bit higher. Yeah. Should have held my long there, because I think we're gonna get some move up now. We might come down to test this and then go higher. Alright, so the rule for me is only 2 trades per session, not allowed to take more than that. And the reason we do this is to see if you can be profitable by putting some strict rules in. Okay, so AM session I had 2 trades. I took one losing trade, one winning trade, and I net $400 profit, and I took a small loss earlier just now, and profit now, so I'm up 700 here, so it's 1,100 for the day. Will be taken with news this week. Yes. So liquidity normally gets set up, and as much as we see it as clear as daylight, and the market goes sideways and kill us in between, and took minor liquidity like this one here. Let me take my face off here again, like liquidity here. I do think this is still something that's up for grabs here. And let's just give it a name so you guys can see it. EQ lows. And the reason being is not that wick, not this week, nor that one has even gone into this fair value gap to fill it. So we might see this go right into that 50%, reject, and come back down and run this. And then obviously we've got bigger liquidity outside of this. But then again, guys, when we started to drop in this last 4 or 5 weeks, I mean, we left so much buy side liquidity. And every day I'm thinking we're going to get it this week, we're going to get it this week, and we just left it there. So there's a lot of buy side. If you go back in the last 5 weeks on the hourly chart, you'll see it. And but us as traders, or me at least, I like to trade what I see in front of me now. Normally I used to marry myself into liquidity and bias and all of that it has to go there, but then it doesn't go there right away. It goes there maybe 2 weeks later only. But I do agree. I mean, what you need to do is, as you see liquidity unfold, you have to mark it out. And I normally keep two charts open, like the mini and macro. Macro, I've got no drawings on there. I literally just have the two big liquidities that I'm targeting. Alright, then I go back into my minis, and that is where I do my live streams from and a lot of marking. And then every day I'll look at it and see what's relevant, what's not. I'll take it away and readjust. And this is my roadmap every single day. I'll come back. So these highs were taken, so I can take that off. It's not relevant anymore. This IFEG, I've looked at it earlier, but didn't pay too much attention on it because no reason. I've got no reason. But anyway, so it played a very important role actually when we saw this body's hold to go higher to that 50%. And yeah, so we've got some nice liquidity at this 2300 308 level, but that doesn't mean I'm going to sell it up here to take it down there. What I will do is I will mark out this fair value gap, and now I want to see what price wants to do. If we invert this, then there's a possibility to go lower. Or maybe we just bounce from here and go higher. And that is where we need to just be patient, keep eyes on the road here, and just wait. Alright, so obviously I'm not going to take any trades. I've used my 2 trade quota here. And yeah, so let's see. Okay, come on, let's do something. Alright, so let's just go back to that macro question. So this nice move up, that was all within that macro, and now we're closing off that macro, and yeah, we'll have to see what price it's going to do after this. I mean, we could leave all of these overnight and maybe use this for London or something to that effect. Guys, let me know if there's anything specific, if you've got questions that while we're in the live market we can go through or talk about or explain anything. Feel free to shout it out, and I'll definitely find time to go through these things for us. Let's see if this fair value gap's going to hold price. I've got a feeling we're going to push higher. See how we fill that fair value gap, 100% to the tick. Now if we close outside of this fair value gap to the upside, I think we're going to squeeze a bit higher maybe. Or maybe just take that high out at this high here, maybe run it and then, I don't know. Let's see. Alright, so let's see if we want to challenge that high again. That will line up with that volume imbalance 50% now. Let's see if there's any pivots here. Nope. Okay, let's see what it does with that high now. Alright, so let's see if we invert this. We could definitely target that. Let's see. Oh gosh, I have to set this every single time. That is if we invert this, turn this into an IFEG, then that would be the entry and that would be the target. That candle didn't close outside yet. Okay, it's closing outside, so it's IFEG, there's the test, and that would be a short. And now let's see if it's going to play out. Let's see if it's going to take us where profit lies. Okay, 50% of that IFEG now. And it's a fair value gap. If you take this, it's a fair value gap. Let's see if it wants to hold price and push it lower. So literally a fair value gap within the IFEG. Let's see. I think this thing is actually going to push higher. Might wants to challenge that high. Yeah, I think it's going to challenge that high up here at that 50%. Alright, so that would be a no trade for me. And because of this white candle close outside of this fair value gap, inverting it to the upside. And I'm just going to take that one off, because obviously, and I think that high is still the target now that we want to go up there first. Okay, let's see. You're going to push up higher, or you're going to drop down from here? Alright, so that IFEG, guys, we inverted to the downside, but we're coming back. And look how price is actually dancing at the upper half of this IFEG. So we potentially can invert it back to the upside and challenging these highs. Maybe reject or push through this volume imbalance 50%. All right, let's see. Okay, back at 50% of the IFEG. I want to see what we're doing below this low, because we've got a little gap here as well. So we either, guys, because we've got so many gaps here, we're either going to see big momentum slice through all of them and does not give us a nice good entry, or we could struggle to get through all of these. Let's see. Yeah, so I agree. I think price will sell off. I'm just going with the mindset that we consolidated, we pushed high, high, low, push high. We could get a higher low in here and then go high again. Remember, in my mind, in order to trap people in, you must give them a reason to say we're going higher, we're going higher, we're going higher, we're stuck, we're going higher, we're stuck, and then you need to go higher and rip it back, and then move the other way to trap people into that long type of thing. So I do think we're going to come down because of this, especially this, because this is by far strong liquidity. And yeah, so I'm just going to sit and wait here. If it goes down from here, then great. I mean, obviously, if anybody has taken a trade, good. But personally, if I had to trade on here, I would not have held. Because the one thing you must remember, when the market manipulates, it manipulates, and it should not give you a chance to rethink your position. It should manipulate and pull back immediately to trap people who's on the wrong side of the market. If it manipulates and it goes sideways, then it gives people a lot of time to think about it and to decide whether they should scale in, close position, all of those type of things. So you'll see any manipulation where it goes up. In this case, it buys up and immediately sells off, or 2 candles later sells off aggressively. That's a good sign of good reversal. I mean, if you really look at it, this week here, it was a big short, and most people thought, oh gosh, here we go. And under that low, that's a breakout, because that's a range, breakout, and then immediately rejects. And that's not me trading wicks on a lower time frame, like, I don't know, 5 seconds, you'll see that pattern clearer. So for me, this takes too long. I mean, if we inverted this fair value gap with this candle immediately, that would in my mind tell me we're going long, and then suddenly people don't have time. They have 3 minutes to decide, or 2 minutes, and now they're stuck. And then you want to see we gradually moving, or get spurts of big movements down. But because we went up and now we struck here, this makes me think of another bull flag to trap people long and then come back. Okay, so yeah, so what you'll see now, I mean, I'll show you. There's a fair value gap, there's a fair value gap, there's a fair value gap, inverted that, there's a fair value gap, rejecting that, in line with that inverted fair value gap. There's too many gaps here in a consolidation for my liking. Look, this, I'm not saying this is not going to play out. This could, most well play out perfectly for you, or for anybody who took a short here. I think the key thing is to evaluate your trades, or the setup, basically, to say what is a A+ setup for you. And maybe this is a A+ setup. A fair value gap test, close below, and That's a good one to close. We're most likely going to invert to go lower here. So let's see. The nice thing about fair value gaps, guys, if you find a trend setup like this short-term trend, I mean, to me this was more like a manipulation type of thing, but we push away, we left a gap. We push away, we left a gap. I mean, we get these spurts where it runs two gaps at once, but if you had your order here and that thing picked you up, you would have in profit really quickly. And yeah, so sometimes just look at long trends or bigger trends, not consolidations. See how many times that fair value gap, you draw it out, price test it, and it goes up to the high. If you keep doing that, I promise you, you'll make money just using that as a strategy. But therefore, you just need to have a bunch of things, especially if there's liquidity up in the direction of your trend. See, this is what worries me about the short. I mean, we're making lower highs, lower lows. Look, we've got good reason to go short here, right? Because there's liquidity, nice liquidity lower down. I mean, for me, this black candle must close below this fair value gap to target the next one. I don't want spikes. I need bodies closing below that white candle swing point and this fair value gap. So close below it, outside of it, that's a good sign to go lower. The other thing, guys, remember, I'm on the stream, I'm talking about what I see, how I trade it, how I read price, and how I interpret the market. If you've got a different way, and if you've got a way that works, there's no reason for you to listen to what I say and change your mind. At the end of the day, you got to come up with the things that make sense for you, and that you obviously got good data on testing and journaling and all of that to say, I've seen this happen so many times. I'm fairly confident to stuck with my guns and not to change my mind because someone else has got a different opinion, right? Maybe my opinion works today, but maybe your opinion will work tomorrow. And that's just the nature of the beast of trading. And I mean, we can completely see price just drop here, and then it's fine, I don't have to take a trade. And here's another little gap here, and everybody's got their own preference, but it's always good to not to sit and trade on your own, but to trade with people who looks at the market in a similar way. And maybe there's that one thing that I say that I'm looking for that you probably never looked at. And maybe that one thing is what you need in your arsenal of trading that makes the difference to be more profitable than ever before, basically. So I can tell you guys, I will never tell people that your way is the wrong way, because I've met so many people. I've met people who, as much as I don't believe in supply and demand, there's people that does it. I've seen people make money of it. I'm just not the one. The one thing that works for me is fair value gaps, IFEGs, and liquidity. And I know people who's just trading moving averages and makes money. It's what you specialize in and how you understand and interpret it. Okay, let's see. What are we gonna do here? Lower highs, lower lows. We're squeezing a bit, yeah. Also, the other thing is, guys, you got what, 30 minutes left of this day of good moves. I mean, yeah, so just be careful on that as well, so you don't get trapped overnight. Alright, so if we close below this white candle's low, then I would look to get to this fair value gap. But therefore we need to close below it. Let's see if that candle wants to close now. Okay, so we're below it, but now we need to close. We got 31 seconds. Let's see how it closes. Gosh. See how those spikes flap? I don't like those spikes. See why I don't trade spikes, guys. You literally I mean, it's grinding slower though. So I'm just glad I'm not in trade because this will make me go mad. I don't like to sit through a grind like this. Alright, so now this low here, that's a swing, and my swings are 3 candles. The middle candles in this case low is lower than both candles lows on either side, and the same vice versa for a swing high. So for me is we need to break this low and close below it. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's see if we can get a close below it. I mean, if we really want to look at a gap here and see how we already tested that gap, and I'm going to take this one off because we threw it, we're holding this gap. But for me, this low is key, and if we make a stuck candle there, then this becomes a low as well. I mean, the swing point here in this fair value gap, we could see price spike above it and then come down as well. Alright, so now we've got 2 levels here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see how it closed below those. $23.08. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I see there's someone saying 2189. 20. Sure, it's a long way down. That's I'm not going to say I think you're optimistic. I can tell you one thing. I've seen Nasdaq do stuff that had my jaw on the ground. And I mean, we sat once and we said, oh, probably going to get there this week. And I promise you, it was literally not an hour later we went through all those levels. So anything can happen with this bloody thing. But I do think, I mean, what you stated there, there's liquidity down there. So, I mean, here we go. See all this liquidity here that we marked out. This is a bear flag, a nice long one. So this thing could go all the way to this high and then reverse. And this is basically just, I mean, or it could just continue higher. I mean, it could be a valid bullish, not a bullish bear flag. Sorry, I don't know these flags. Bear flags, bull flags. All right, this could be a valid bull flag to send price higher. Or if I was the market maker, I would run this thing up actually to take these highs and then invert and drop. That's what I would do. But let's see. Right, so obviously it's taking this gap here, this fair value gap that was highlighted earlier. Okay. Let's see, maybe you just want to test that again. The problem with this slow grind down is we break a low, so that's a structure break, then we come back higher and then people are like, oh, what's happening here? Then we go sideways, then we invert here, we go back, great, we broke structure here, we came back into that little volume imbalance, which is great, we break structure again, we're building up here, yes, we break structure and then we pull back, ah, shucks. Then we go lower, then yes, and then we pull back. Then we get stuck in that range. And then suddenly this thing runs up and stops those people out, those people out, those people out. And this is probably the gap we need to follow now, is this one here. Let's see if you guys can still see everything here. This gap here. Because we come from a fair value gap. If we invert this one, we most probably will go lower here. And we're cutting it short, guys. It is 15 minutes before 4 o'clock. And as much as I'm tempted to take a trade if we do that, I'm not going to do that. Because this could actually wreck you. And I don't want to sit for the next 10-15 minutes wondering why this, why that. I mean, this thing could quite easily go all the way back to this high here. And the reason I say that is we get a push, a higher high, higher low, and now this could go for higher higher. Or maybe that fair value gap in this IFEG, it lines up pretty nice. Maybe it holds old price here. And there goes the higher highs. Okay, so now I'm taking this off because I mean, this thing could now end like this and then it's equal highs. Alright, so this liquidity has been taken. Now I'm taking that off. And I'm taking that off because we said we most probably going to go there. Now I want to see what's happening here. Maybe this is equal highs, new gap, and then vertical low. I don't know. And we never close below these lows. At the end of the day, you gotta tell the story for yourself. Never a dull moment in this thing, I can tell you. Okay, so let's see if this thing's gonna drop from here or if it's gonna just screw with all of us. Okay, because now we got highs equal highs here. And let's see if we're going to run it now or we're going to leave it for later and go down from here. I always forget to label my blocks here. I just know my blue ones are the fair value gaps and the orange one is the IFEGs. So here comes the spikes again. I don't know if Donald Trump's saying something or what the hell's going on. But if you take the swing point from there to there, that's discount. From there to there, that's discount. So let's see. You don't want to get stuck in these violent moves, which is quite right, so let's see. Okay, so 50% of this wick. Let's see. It's right below that fair value gaps 50%. Let's see if we want to bounce there. Just mark it out. I can take all of this off. That's 50% of that wick. Maybe let's call it 50%. And let's mark that on the right. So let's see. Yeah, you can say that again. Maybe Trump is tweeting something. Right, added 50% of that wick now. Let's see if it's gonna invert and do all of that. Let's just see for it to close. Because obviously these lows, those are new liquidity, all of these lows. And we might see just a big drop here. Alright, so that seems like the manipulation leg, and now we're stuck between fair value gaps here. Let's make this one an orange one. My FEG, and I'm not going to take a trade here, guys. This would be a nice trade. I mean, see this wick test 50% of this wick here. It would be nice to have seen this trade early in the day, then I would have probably taken the short here. And see how we print equal highs here, and we just leave it there. So, and we did say we're not sure if it's going to leave it there for later, or is it something that they're going to run now. Alright, let me take my face off here. I think it's going to be a better view to... Hey man, this thing. Jump from that fair value. If we invert this thing again, guys, that's exactly why, I mean, I limit myself to 2 trades a day. See, there we go, run those equal highs. Oh, and there we run for the moon. Bounce, bounce. Close above 50% here, and these equal highs, that tells me we want to go higher here. Or maybe we just go sideways. Alright, so let's look at it this way. I don't think there's much going to happen here now. Wait. Sure. Alright, so I mean, we ran this liquidity, we closed below the 50%. I'm going to take this off, this off, and I'll tell you why. And I want to demonstrate something to you guys quickly, and I said it earlier. When you do manipulation, it's a big aggressive push in a direction, right? People think we're going long. Then there's another candle pushes higher, trapping people to long again. And then we pull back aggressively, and hopefully this candle here inverts. If it inverts here, that would trap a lot of long buyers there, and then there's all this liquidity down here to take people out. But then again, guys, that's what I want to see. I'm not saying this is what's going to play out here, and the reason I say that is because it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the US. and there's nothing I would do on this right now. I think yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it with you guys. I mean, we pretty much read an expectation here, what I would do if I'm a market maker type of thing. It did play out. I could just as well be wrong, and the market could just as well just drift it slowly lower, which is always a possibility. It's never going to be as perfect as it is, but I must say price action wasn't that great today. Hopefully PMI gives us a nice setup. Try to be with you guys in AM session again, but if not, I'll try to be on an AM session, sorry, but PM session I will definitely be here. So let's see what happens tomorrow. And yes, thanks again, guys, for your support, and that you were hanging with me on this. And yeah, take care, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe. Bye bye.